Okay, Grenadiers. Situation. Enemy. Okay, elements of one motorized rifle regiment are in the area west of the 80 Easting. They are pushing east in an attempt to capture the airfield here at CFB Borden.
The enemy is considered a Royal Regiment. Friendlies, Hotel Company is on our left flank, and Gulf Company is on our right flank. Our mission, we are to locate and destroy the enemy using a combat patrol.
Canadian and American forces in a combat situation? No, not a breach in our 175-year history of peace along our border, but rather a joint training exercise at Canadian Forces Base at Borden, Ontario, some 175 miles north of Buffalo. The Royal Regiment of Canada will be hosting U.S. Marines from India Company, based at the foot of Porter Avenue, the Naval and Marine Corps Reserve Center. Commanding Officer Captain Steve Ryder explains the mission.
Just to gain experience with the Canadian forces, we share they show us some of their techniques and we show them some of our techniques.
The commanding officer of the Royal Regiment of Canada, Lieutenant Colonel Adrian Praisner.
We found that after a while, though, that just getting out and getting into the tents and getting into your sleeping bags was kind of boring. So we added a competition, and that being the biathlon. And then with our liaison with India Company, we thought it would be kind of nice to ask them if they'd like to compete with us.
In the role of instructor-inspector, Captain William McAvoy is the guiding force behind the 130 Marines on winter maneuvers.
The Canadians, the way they run their system, they bring in new people into the military every year, and they take them up into the cold weather to show them how to use their gear and how to survive basically in cold weather. Since we're in the cold weather climate here in Buffalo, we've sort of adapted that mission in the Marine Corps. Since we both represent allies in the NATO alliance, it helps for a lot of camaraderie. It builds esprit de corps in our unit as well as theirs, and basically we just enjoy their company also.
Preparing for the weekend in the cold wilderness was quite a task. The Marines packed their personal gear, drew supplies to sustain them, packed their sleds, better known as Akios, were issued their M16 rifles, and listened to last-minute instructions from their squad leaders.
Everybody's going to wear their white boots, their long john bottoms, their long john tops, the parka in the hood, the snow pants, the watch cap, and the mittens. But take everything else, okay?
Every pocket will have the same thing in it in every pack.
No snow going out here. No way. It's going to be nice.
Fire watch will be a half hour inside, half hour outside.
The 48-square-mile reserve training center was snow-covered under sunny skies and below freezing temperatures as Marine Captain McAvoy prepared his men for the first stage of the biathlon.
The Marines will come up to the starting point with their Akio group, their weapons, and the rest of their gear. They'll be given the grid coordinate of where they're located at and where they have to move to their first station. Their first station is about 1,500 meters from here, and they'll be given a specific task at that station to belay an Akio, belay the sled up a piece of steep terrain.
You ready? Let's go. Move on.
What about your Canadian counterparts? Will they be doing something similar?
Yes, they're incorporated in the same race. They'll go through the same events, and at this point it's all timed.
Bloody nose on exercise, eh?
Regiment.
Start on here.
It's a cold.
Okay, we gotta go right where that cross line is, right there. Now, we're traveling down this road here. We came all the way down, and we just came up the hill there. Everybody give a hand, get it over to the edge.
Just walk back. Good job, good job. Rock.
Get coiled, go!
Don't untie that, too.
He's going to be sitting approximately over here. He's going to be the anchor man. He'll tie the end of the rope around himself and create a slip knot and a knot. He's the anchor. He'll be the anchor man.
Yes, Master Corporal. Fine.
All right, let's go. Let a bit more slack go. Let a bit more slack go. Okay, Hazel, keep the tension on. All right? Good. Let her go, okay? Let her go, let her go, let her go. Good, 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 good.
The only casualty was a pulled muscle suffered by one of the Canadian soldiers who was cared for by the medics.
This is the FN C1A1, which is FN is for Beak National. It's a Belgian weapon.
Yeah.
It's pretty well the NATO standard. We've had them since 1959, and in fact, it's being replaced now in the Canadian inventory by the M16A2, the same weapon that these Marines are carrying. But we'll be firing each other's rifles, and both sides, I think, when you ask them, they'll notice the difference between the kick, and you'll hear the difference in the sound as well.
Fire's automatic, and you got.
Put it on safe. Put your sight down. Open, cock the weapon back, and use the holding open device to keep it back.
After the biathlon during the evening, the Canadians will pull pole, so to speak, and move out of their bivouac area. They'll set up somewhere in on the base in the training area, and during that night they'll set up into a hasty defense. The Marines basically will form reconnaissance patrols and combat patrols. We'll try to find them, probe their defenses, and attack them sometime during the night. Hopefully we'll find them by the morning.
When you get on location, you make sure you've got cover and concealment, preparing for an ambush. You'll fire on my orders. Withdrawal. Withdrawal will be on my command, and prepare for a hasty defense while we're pulling back. We might be attacked several times on the route back.
We're located in the vicinity of 828014 in a company defensive position. The weather is clear, cold, with a slight wind from the southwest. The enemy is considered a Royal Regiment. Friendlies, hotel companies on our left flank, Gulf companies on our right flank. Mission. Through a patrolling effort, we are to locate and destroy the enemy position using a combat patrol.
The Americans and Canadians entered their joint maneuvers on a fun note, the chain of command race.
Are the Marines ready? Are the Canadians ready?
And appropriately, the opening phase of the competition was called the Dizzy Izzy.
Come on, Bill, come on! 8! 9! Try to go! Cross the line 2 seconds earlier.
brief quote from U.S. Marine Captain William McAvoy, who called his team's win a victory for his country and its military. Both sides are very patriotic and want to win this bad. Well, next year, let me guarantee you that we're going to win it bad. Now, hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray!
Put the hoosh up right here and we'll camp right here. Whose stick do I have?